Hey guys, how's it going? Chase here, and welcome back to another glorious episode of Redstone for Dummies. And in the last episode, what we talked about was the basics of redstone. We talked about things like a power redstone, and the different properties of stuff like pistons and dispensers, stuff like glowstone lamps. And you may notice that the glowstone lamp right here is textured differently. I'm using the code-crafted custom texture pack, and it's exactly the same as the regular texture pack, except for stuff that people use frequently for redstone like wool. It's more blandly colored, I guess you could say. And the redstone lamps are not nearly, there's not nearly as much going on them. As you can see, there's no like cross pattern thing, but it does still do the exact same thing. Repeaters also have little markers on them to show where ticks are, but that's just in case you guys were confused as to why stuff was looking slightly different. I mean, I believe I was using this thing the entire time, but I just thought I'd mention that. Anyways, on to this episode, where we're going to be talking about what are known as logic gates. I mentioned them in the last episode, but I never went into too much detail of what they are. And I told you how this right here is a logic gate, because if the input is on, then the output is off, and the input is off, then the output is on. Well, yeah, it's basically a logic gate. A logic gate is where you have one or more inputs, in this case we're going to have two, to determine a single output. This is not an actual logic gate right here, this is just an example. And logic gates work by, different logic gates require different variations of the input to require the output. For example, one logic gate would require this one only to be on, or to have that one on, or this one only to be on and the other one to be off for that one to be on. Another logic gate would require them both to be off for the output to be on. Another one would require them both to be on for the output to be on. And another one would require it to be switching from on to off, and it detects that it's turning off and sends out a quick pulse. I don't think, yeah, I'll go into that. I will, yeah. Anyways, the first logic gate that we're going to be talking about is this thing right here, which is the exact same thing we did over there. As you can see, it's right here. And it's basically a NOT gate. And a NOT gate is, as said, it's an inverter. If the input's on, then it turns off the output. And that's using one input. Instead of our basic two inputs to determine a single output, we're just going to be using one input to determine a single output, in this case. And as you can see right here, I have this little number chart down here, divided by this line segment right here. And basically what this is this is a truth table. And what a truth table is it is a way to determine the outputs based on writing down all of the inputs and possible outputs. It's basically an easier way to visualize your structure right here, your little build right here, into a table. So on the left side of this little line segment, we have the 0 on top of the 1. So basically on the first row, in this little column right here, you're going to put all of the possibilities for inputs that you could have with either one or more inputs. In this case, we only have one input, so we're only going to write the possibilities for that one input. The one input could either be off or 0, or it could be on or 1. On the right side of this line segment, we have the possible outputs that will occur. So when this is 0, we're going to go along the row right here, and this one right here is going to be the output. So if it's 0, if the input is 0 or off, then the output is going to be 1 or on, and that's true. And then if the input's on or 1, then the output is going to be off or 0. So that's basically what that is. We're going to be using one of those in every single one of these demonstrations right here. And yeah, let's just go on to the next logic gate right here. This one right here is known as an AND gate, and these are called what they're called for a reason, and I'll go into that once I've covered this one right here. And if we go right here, we're going to see that there's two numbers on the left side instead of just one. That's because we're writing down the possibilities for two inputs. Those two inputs could either be 0, 0, or them both off. It could be 0, 1, or the one on the right on. It could be 1, 0, the one on the left on. And it could be 1, 1, which is both of them on. Now for this one, if you look at the outputs, they're all 0, which is off, until they're both on. If the inputs are both on, then the output is on. And that's the only way you can get an output from an AND gate. And that's basically what an AND gate is they both have to be on, both inputs have to be on to have a positive output. And the reason it's called an AND gate is because input 1 and input 2, hear that and in there, input 1 and input 2, both have to be 1 for the output to be 1. So that's a pretty simple logic gate. And now we're going to be going on to another fairly simple logic gate that you're probably going to question. This right here is known as I forgot to write this down. OR gate. And the reason it's called an OR gate is because input 1 or input 2 can be on. And you could have as many inputs of these as you want. You can create a 3-input AND gate, which is just going like this. Yeah, it would be going like this, I think. Okay. But that would actually have 2 outputs. You don't want 2 outputs. You want it to do this right here. And that's not a 3-input, my bad. That's a 3-input AND gate right there. And you come out one more like this. And then you connect all these to that wire, and then you have a single torch going out. So for this one right here, you'd have to have all 3 of them to be on for it to go off. You can try both of these, you could try that one, but all 3 of them have to be off for it to go on. That was just a quick example real quick. Anyways, you could also do the same with an OR gate, just plug in another wire, but I'm not going to be doing that. We're going to be doing a basic 2-input. So if you look here, if both of these are off, then the output is going to be off. Okay? That's pretty simple. We're just going to be following the truth tables from now on. And if the one on the left is off and the one on the right is on, it's on. The one on the left is on, the one on the right is off, it's off. Or on, sorry. And if they're both on, then it's on. So basically, one or more of the inputs have to be on for the output to be on. And as you can see, I emphasize the or because that's why it's called an OR gate. Either one or the other, or both of them can be on for the output to be on. If they're both off, output's going to be off. That's the only way that the output is going to be off. The only state that's going to be off. They're all off. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's it for this episode. So leave a like, favorite if you enjoyed, comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.